Hi guys, my name's Nick Lowe, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about sciatica and then go ahead and give you some really effective exercises that you can do yourselves at home to help alleviate what can be a very debilitating condition. So first of all, what is sciatica? It's basically the impingement and the inflammation of the sciatic nerve. Now this is one of the biggest nerves in our body that emerges from the lower back and the sacrum. So the sciatic nerve actually emerges from here and spreads and runs all the way down the back of our legs, like so. Now, sciatica pain can be caused by multiple pinches in different areas of the body. The sciatic nerve can be pinched at the origin, in between the vertebrae, or where it comes out of the sacral spaces. It can be pinched in the sacroiliac joint, or it can be pinched by the gluteus muscles and the piriformis, actually further down the chain. People who experience symptoms in different ways in different areas along this line. So, first of all, with any sciatica, it's worth checking your lower back because it may be that that's the source of your pain. If so, you can check out my videos on lower back pain, stretching and strengthening exercises to help with that. And in this section, we're going to look specifically at the glute medius and the glute muscles and the piriformis and what could be pinching the sciatic nerve a little bit further down the chain. First of all, we're going to look at some stretching exercises to stretch out all the muscles of the glute med, the glute max and the piriformis. Tension in all of these muscles can really put pressure on the sciatic nerve, cause it to pinch, cause that pain and inflammation which is contributing to your symptoms. So the first things first, let's learn how to stretch these areas out. And we're going to look at the basic stretches first and then look at more intense, stronger stretches for this area. So first of all, lying like so, we're just going to walk the heels up to the buttocks, take one leg and just raise it and place it on the opposite knee like so. This might already be quite a strong stretch and you're going to feel it pulling in here if your sciatica is particularly bad or you're particularly immobile. Not to worry, all we need to do is walk the foot down. This will decrease the angle on the stretch, take the pressure off and just make it a bit easier. You stay like this for a while, rest, relax, let the muscles soften, and when you're ready, just gradually increase that stretch and bringing it up here. And ideally the buttocks, the foot wants to be quite close to the buttocks. So, once we're here, we want to reach this thigh, which is the kind of base leg, and interlock our fingers and actually pull the leg into the body like so. When we're pulling this leg, we're going to increase the stretch on this gluteus area here. And again, we can hold that for a good length of time. And if you want to increase the intensity, again, you can reach all the way around the other leg and pull that in like so. Really just try and stay here and relax in this position. Give yourself a lot of time, give the muscles enough time to fully relax and loosen. This might be quite painful, it might be quite strong. Obviously, if it's really intense, you can lessen the intensity, go to a lesser version of the stretch. When this is feeling more comfortable, you can increase the stretch as well. Go at your own time, go at your own pace, but hold it for a long time. Once you've finished, exactly the same on the other leg. Even if your sciatica is one-sided, I still recommend stretching out both sides of the body. And if this is the case, what I recommend doing is stretching out the effective side twice and stretching out the other side once. That way, you're still working both sides of the body, but you're placing an emphasis on the more affected side. Again, to make the stretch easier, you decrease the angle with the base leg. To make it more challenging, you're bringing that heel close to your buttocks, reaching through for this leg here. And again, when that feels more comfortable and you want a stronger stretch, reach around the shin and you can pull it in even more like so. And then again, relax, hold, and just let the muscles start to soften and lengthen. For the next exercise for sciatica and stretching out the glute muscles, we're going to need a table of some kind. So this can be, a kitchen table, something like this is a good height. Ideally, it wants to be about half a foot below your kind of waistline. That's about ideal. The lower the table, the easier the stretch. The higher the table, the stronger the stretch is going to be. So try and find an appropriate height or level for this stretch for yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the leg and we're going to place it on the table like so. Now already this is probably going to feel like a very strong stretch or pulling sensation around the glutes if you're quite tight in this area, if your sciatica is quite bad. So really we just want to just relax into this position to start with. We can use our hands, our free hands, to actually rotate the leg a bit like this, almost rotating the flesh of the thigh outwards. And I just like to kind of walk my hands up and down my leg for this one, just pulling it around here and just creating a lot of nice space in the hip. The other thing you can do is put a bit of pressure on the knee like this and just push it away from your body a little bit, and you're going to feel that pulling all the way up these lines, which you're probably feeling quite tight, quite tender, and unlikely going to be the areas where your sciatica is symptomatic. Once you're comfortable in this position, we can actually start to lean forward a little bit. So again, just start on your hands, walking yourself forward. Again, this might be a very strong stretch to start with if you're not used to it. And again, gradually we want to decrease the angle, increase the stretch, and you're really going to feel that pulling nice and strongly into those glute areas, which are very common areas that sciatica will affect you. And again, hold for a nice long time. Really relax into the position. Give enough time for those muscles to soften and to lengthen. Walk yourself up, and you're going to repeat with the other leg. Again, if your sciatica is one-sided, asymptomatic, I recommend doing twice on the affected side, once on the side that's not affected. So you're still working both sides, but targeting the area where you've got most pain. Again, relax into the position to start with. Use your free hand to rotate the flesh of the thigh away from your body. Press the knee down, feel that stretch up into the glute medius area, and when you're comfortable and relaxed in this position, you can start to walk forward with your hands and gradually increase the stretch to bend over your leg like this. And this is again going to give you a very strong stretch, pulling all the way into your glute medius, glute max and piriformis areas. So the final stretch in my sciatica series is the dreaded pigeon. Now this is a pretty strong stretch, it's quite intense, requires you to have some relative mobility. So I really recommend focusing a long time on the first two exercises before going into this, especially if your sciatica is quite bad. But there is no doubt it is by far the most effective exercise for stretching out the glute med, the glute max, the piriformis, these kind of muscles which commonly pinch the sciatic nerve if they're too tight. So I'll show you the full position and the full stretch to start with, and we'll look at some ways to make it a little bit easier. So the best way to start is by having your front leg in the cross-legged position here, and then we're just going to walk this leg back like so. The more flexible you are, the more you want to walk this leg back. Put your weight on your hands, lift yourself up, and you're already going to feel a very strong stretch pulling into the piriformis on the front leg. Now, one of the most common mistakes I see in this exercise, people doing it all the time, is have that foot far more bent in, not at a right angle. And they do the stretch like this, and they kind of lean forward like this, and they think they're getting a good stretch, and it's not targeting the glute med at all. So we really need to make sure that foot and this leg is at a relative right angle to the body. Like so, and that's going to make sure these muscles are fully stretched out. Again, hold this position for a nice long time, and to come out of it, you can just let yourself fall to the sides like this. Then we're going to repeat and do exactly the same on the other side. So, to start with, again, making sure this lead leg is at a relative right angle. Take the leg back, put your weight up on your hands, walk the rear foot back as far as you comfortably can, push yourself up, nice straight back, and again you're going to feel a very strong stretch pulling in on the glute medius, the glute max, the piriformis, all the muscles around the back of the hip area. Again, making sure this foot isn't tucked in here, making sure it's really at a right angle to maximise the effects of that stretch. Now, this is a tough stretch, it's a difficult exercise, so I'm going to show you one way where you can make it a little bit easier if you're really struggling. So, you're going to need a yoga bolster or something similar, something thick and padded and relatively sort of strong as a support. And what this is going to do is this is going to act as a cushion for your lead leg. So when we sit over it, the bolster is going to be under the flesh of the thigh, not under the hip and not under the knee. It's going to be in the middle of the thigh. And this just helps give a little bit of support to our leg. So our front leg can actually just rest a little bit in this stretch rather than be hovering off the ground. So again, otherwise, all the same principles apply. Walk this back leg out, pushing down on the floor through your hands, nice straight back, and just hold that stretch for a good period of time. It's going to be painful. It's going to really burn into those muscles, but this is the only way to stretch, loosen, relax, and lengthen these muscles. Again, when you're ready to come out, you can just fall to the side like so. And again, we're going to repeat on the other side. So again, the bolster wants to be in the middle of the thigh, under the fleshy part of the thigh. Walk the rear leg back, take the weight onto the hands, get nice straight back, and hold the stretch here. And again, the bolster really just lets this front leg relax into the position a little bit more if it's feeling too tight or too strong.